Prepare to set off on a journey across Earth's most extraordinary places, where natural wonder and human history meet in unforgettable ways. See the bright, geometric basins of the potash ponds, mineral pools that look painted when viewed from above, testament to land and industry. In Japan, Himeji Castle rises in immaculate white, its layered roofs and fortified walls preserving centuries of history and quiet authority. Beneath New Zealand's surface, Waitomo glowworm caves turn darkness into a subtle galaxy as countless tiny lights cling to cavern ceilings. Each of these sites blends science, culture, and time, offering scenes that feel almost unreal while revealing deeper stories about our planet. Join us as we move from wonder to wonder, step by step, story by story, and discover why Earth still surprises and inspires. Potash ponds. The potash ponds stretch across the valley in a shifting mosaic of basins, each displaying a variety of tones that shimmer subtly under the sunlight. Crystals gradually form along the edges as evaporation continues, revealing the delicate geological processes that have shaped these ponds over decades of careful management. The mineral-rich surfaces produce distinct patterns and textures, highlighting the intricate balance between natural forces and human design. The interplay of tones and forms from one pond to another creates a dynamic mosaic where no two sections appear exactly alike, blending movement and stillness. Altogether, the potash ponds present a striking example of how human engineering and natural processes can combine to sculpt a landscape that is simultaneously purposeful and mesmerizing. Waitomo glowworm caves. Beneath the rolling hills of New Zealand's North Island, the Waitomo region shelters a limestone cave system sculpted by underground rivers over millions of years. These waterways carve twisting passages and lofty chambers, leaving behind a subterranean landscape that feels like architecture hidden within the earth. As visitors step into the shadowed halls, thousands of glowworms light up the ceiling, turning the darkness into a vast constellation underground. Delicate silk threads descend in silence, reflecting the glow and giving the chamber a texture both fragile and surreal. The light is created through bioluminescence, a natural adaptation of the glowworms that thrive in this enclosed world. Travelers drift quietly by boat along the underground river, gliding beneath a roof shimmering with countless points of light. For a brief pause, everything falls into stillness. It shows that even in the Earth's quietest corners, nature composes scenes of astonishing wonder. Niagara Falls. A massive curtain of water descends with relentless force, carving cliffs of limestone and shale while filling the valley with a constant, echoing roar. Three main sections, the American Falls, Bridal Veil Falls, and Horseshoe Falls, merge into a continuous cascade, each flowing with its own distinct character. The river gradually erodes the softer rock beneath the hard limestone, shaping the falls over thousands of years and creating their iconic formation. Mist rises unceasingly from the base, forming a shifting veil that catches and refracts light, hinting at the immense power driving the torrent. Visitors can board boats that approach the base of the falls. The full force and roar of the cascading water is felt up close. Surrounding cliffs and forests frame the scene, emphasizing the contrast between immovable stone and the ever-moving torrent, while Niagara Falls stands as a lasting testament to the persistent work of water over rock. The Nagil Cave. Beneath the limestone cliffs along Portugal's Algarve coast, waves and tides slowly widened fractures and hollowed chambers over centuries, sculpting the cave's initial form. A section of the roof later collapsed, opening a circular skylight where sunlight streams down, casting shifting patterns across the chamber's curved walls. Layered stone reveals the cave's history, smooth arcs and striations, recording the persistent work of erosion, while surfaces reflect light in warm, ever-changing tones. Visitors can enter by boat or kayak, gliding through the sea arch into the cavern's expansive interior beneath the skylight. The sense of being surrounded by sculpted stone and filtered sunlight creates a memorable, almost otherworldly experience. The light shifts with every gentle movement. It leaves travelers with a lasting impression of nature's sculpting power, where rock, water, and sunlight converge to form a cavern of extraordinary intimacy and grandeur. Fanjing Shan. Rising above the misty peaks of Guizhou Province, Fanjing Shan stretches skyward with sheer cliffs and jagged rocks, creating a natural setting both awe-inspiring and secluded. The ascent winds along narrow stone steps and suspended stairways clinging to the cliffs, demanding endurance and careful footing from each traveler. Visitors pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and fully sense the height before continuing. As they reach the summit, the temple appears, perched on the rock and blending with the natural contours through its layered halls and sweeping roofs. Pilgrims and visitors follow the steps in quiet succession, each movement adding to the sense of reverence that fills the space. Sunlight filters through mist and crevices, illuminating the temple and surrounding stone, enhancing the feeling of sacredness throughout the area. Here, rock, temple, and human presence converge in a profound connection, leaving travelers with a sense of humility, reflection, and awe before the grandeur of nature. Himeji Castle. Perched on a low hill, the white walls stretch like a vast cloak laid over stone foundations, giving the impression of a structure reaching into the sky. The castle traces its origins to the 14th century and was expanded in the early 17th, becoming a defining model of Japanese military architecture. Its layered gates, water moats, and winding paths were deliberately arranged to confuse intruders from the very first step. Inside, wooden corridors connect multiple floors with compact rooms, combining an air of solemnity with the practicality of defense. Every spring, cherry blossoms bloom densely around the curved rooftops, casting a scene that is both radiant and serene. Himeji Castle endures as proof that while time may pass, history can remain vividly present.
Kokora Valley. Nestled within the Andes Mountains,
Kokora Valley stretches across rolling hills and steep slopes, forming a landscape both dramatic and serene. Towering wax palms rise from the valley floor, their slender trunks creating a striking silhouette against the open sky. The valley's terrain shifts between green meadows and gentle rises, giving a sense of depth and scale to the natural environment. Local communities have maintained a long-standing relationship with the land, preserving traditions and the harmony between culture and nature. From any viewpoint, the combination of soaring palms, undulating hills, and expansive valleys inspires a quiet sense of awe and timeless beauty.
Lamayuru Monastery.
Perched on a rocky hillside in the Himalayas, Lamayuru Monastery rises above the surrounding landscape, offering a glimpse into centuries of Buddhist tradition. The complex of stone buildings and prayer halls blends naturally with the rugged terrain, reflecting the harmony between architecture and the mountains. The area holds a rich history, with the monastery serving as a spiritual center for generations of monks and pilgrims. Visitors can sense the quiet reverence of the site, where the rhythm of daily rituals and prayers shapes the atmosphere. From the terraces and pathways, the monastery and the sweeping valleys beyond come together in a scene that inspires reflection, awe, and a deep appreciation for both culture and nature.
Kalsoy. A narrow island in the Faroe Archipelago rises sharply from the North Atlantic, its steep cliffs and deep inlets shaped by centuries of ocean erosion. Rugged terrain alternates between sheer rock faces and sloping hills, formed over millennia by glacial movement and tectonic forces.
Narrow valleys and hidden coves reveal layers of basalt and volcanic rock, reflecting the island's complex geological history. The coastline drops abruptly into the sea, illustrating the persistent power of erosion that sculpted the dramatic cliffs. Historical accounts note sparse habitation, with the island's topography guiding settlement and travel patterns through the centuries. Calsoy's combination of jagged ridges, elongated landforms, and geological features creates a striking example of nature's enduring influence and the shaping of landscapes over time.
Vadzia. Carved into the cliffs of
Southern Georgia, Vadzia stretches across the rocky slopes, forming a sprawling complex of cave dwellings and tunnels. The rugged mountainside displays layers of volcanic tuff, shaped over millennia by erosion and natural forces, creating a stable yet dramatic foundation for the settlement. Originally constructed in the 12th century, the caves served both as monastic cells and as a refuge during periods of conflict. Narrow passageways and staircases wind through the cliff face, illustrating the ingenuity of medieval builders in adapting to the vertical terrain. The complex includes chapels, storage rooms, and living quarters, reflecting both spiritual life and practical needs of its historical inhabitants. Historical records show that Vadzia played a central role in regional defense and religious practice, connecting communities through trade and pilgrimage routes. The combination of vertical cliffs, carved dwellings, and enduring cultural significance makes Vadzia a remarkable example of human adaptation to challenging landscapes.
Mont Saint-Michel. A tidal island rises off the coast of Normandy, with Mont Saint-Michel standing prominently above the surrounding mudflats and channels. The granite foundation secures the island, with cliffs and rocky slopes shaped by centuries of ocean erosion. Narrow causeways connect the island to the mainland, showing how natural forces have influenced human access over time. Construction began in the 10th century, and the abbey evolved over centuries with Romanesque and Gothic elements layered atop one another. Steep stairways and winding streets demonstrate how medieval builders adapted architecture to the challenging vertical terrain. Historical records highlight the site's dual role as a strategic fortress and a center of pilgrimage, symbolizing regional identity. Mont Saint-Michel remains a remarkable convergence of natural formation and cultural heritage, leaving a lasting impression of history, architecture, and landscape. Kasha Katuwe Tent Rocks. Rising sharply from the desert floor in the USA, cone-shaped formations stretch across the landscape, forming a surreal and dramatic scene that immediately captures attention. Shaped over thousands of years by volcanic eruptions and relentless erosion from wind and water, the soft tuff now rises in pointed spires that reach dozens of meters in height. Narrow canyons weave between these cones, revealing layers of pink, white, and tan rock that tell the story of the region's geological history. Steep ridges and jagged slopes highlight the enduring power of natural forces that continue to shape the terrain even today. Trails wind through the formations, allowing visitors to experience the scale, texture, and intricate layering of each spire from close range. The cones vary in size and shape, creating an impression of a landscape in constant evolution, where every formation reflects time and erosion. The combination of volcanic origin, erosional sculpting, and dramatic vertical relief makes this landscape both scientifically remarkable and visually striking. Las Lajas Sanctuary. Perched high above a narrow gorge in Colombia, a towering Gothic sanctuary rises against the cliffs with an elegance that feels almost impossible. Bridging the Guaitara River, its stone arch supports the structure with striking symmetry, uniting natural chasms and human craftsmanship in one seamless vision. Construction began in the 19th century, and the site soon evolved into an important place of pilgrimage for communities across the region.
The design draws from European Gothic tradition, with pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and tall spires that echo the grandeur of medieval cathedrals. The rugged gorge and rushing river beneath emphasize the sanctuary's improbable location, making its presence even more remarkable. Together, the natural canyon and the Gothic structure form a landmark that stands as both a feat of engineering and a symbol of enduring faith.
Machu Picchu. High in the Andes of Peru, terraces and stone walls rise from a granite ridge, overlooking valleys carved deep by centuries of flowing rivers. Built in the 15th century by the Inca, the site reveals a city carefully planned with temples, plazas, and agricultural terraces fitted seamlessly into the mountain. Every stone was carved and placed without mortar, reflecting an architectural precision that has withstood earthquakes and time. The surrounding cliffs and steep slopes emphasize the isolation of the citadel, making its discovery centuries later all the more striking. Patterns of steps and terraces cascade down the slopes, blending utility with an aesthetic harmony that still captures the imagination. Historians continue to debate its original purpose, whether royal estate, ceremonial center, or stronghold of strategic value. The setting itself conveys a powerful sense of resilience, where human ambition and natural grandeur coexist on the same dramatic stage. Today, it stands not only as a remarkable relic of Inca civilization, but also as a symbol of human ingenuity in harmony with the mountains of Peru. Civita di Bagnoregio. Perched on a plateau of soft volcanic tuff, the ancient village rises above surrounding valleys, its steep cliffs carved through centuries of wind and water erosion. Narrow stone alleys weave between houses of warm-toned brick, while arches and stairways adapt to the uneven ground and preserve the medieval pattern of the settlement. Walls display a mixture of Renaissance details and rustic simplicity, their weathered facades shaped by time, sunlight, and the fragile nature of volcanic rock.
A long pedestrian bridge spans the deep ravine, the only connection linking the isolated plateau with the neighboring countryside and modern life beyond. Beneath the surface, layers of volcanic ash and clay erode steadily, giving the settlement its reputation as a fragile and constantly threatened, dying town. Sections of the cliff collapse over decades, leaving behind broken towers and fragments of walls that mark the gradual retreat of the plateau. Crossing the bridge reveals a suspended world, where daily life continues quietly in defiance of the landscape's ongoing transformation and inevitable decline.
Uçhisar Castle. Rising from the rocky landscape of Cappadocia in central Turkey, Uçhisar Castle dominates the surrounding valleys with its towering natural rock formations. The fortress is carved directly into a massive volcanic rock outcrop, blending human construction with the rugged terrain in a seamless way. A network of tunnels, rooms, and passages winds through the rock, reflecting centuries of habitation and strategic use. From the highest points, one can observe the rolling valleys, fairy chimneys, and distant peaks, revealing the full scale of the region's unique geology. The castle served historically as a defensive stronghold and a refuge for local communities during times of conflict. Windows and openings in the rock provide ventilation and light while maintaining the strength and concealment of the fortress. Surrounding trails offer access to terraces and lower levels, guiding visitors through a layered structure shaped by both nature and human ingenuity. Rock formations near the castle show signs of erosion, highlighting the long interaction between volcanic activity and weathering forces. Local legends and historical accounts tell of its role in regional defense, trade, and daily life over centuries, enriching the cultural context. The castle's position allowed inhabitants to monitor approaches from miles away, making it a strategic vantage point in Cappadocia.
Uchiza Castle stands as a striking combination of natural strength and human adaptation, preserving a vivid link between the land, history, and culture of the region.
Petra. Carved deep into sandstone cliffs, the ancient city reveals facades and narrow passages where reddish rock shimmers softly beneath the desert sun of Jordan. Over 2,000 years ago, the Nabateans shaped gorges into temples, tombs, and channels, leaving a city that blended nature with careful human design. Layers of sandstone, weathered by centuries of erosion, display bands of red, ochre, and violet, creating natural patterns across the carved walls. At its center stands Al-Khazneh, a monumental facade cut from rock, with Greek-style columns set against detailed Nabatean stonework. The surrounding canyons served as natural defenses, their winding paths concealing the city while guiding travelers through narrow corridors of stone. High above the valley, stairways lead to tombs and terraces, carved directly into cliff faces that rise sharply from the desert floor. Earthquakes and shifting trade routes eventually cause decline, leaving behind remnants that still cling to the sandstone cliffs. Today, Petra endures as a place of artistry and resilience, preserving the silent story of a civilization shaped by desert and stone. Dade's Gorge. Stretching across the dry heart of Morocco, the gorge extends as a winding valley where the river has slowly cut through the rugged mountain ridges. Towering cliffs rise on both sides in layers of rock, their shifting tones from beige to red adding depth to the dramatic landscape. The valley floor carries the traces of water and time, with carved terraces and bends, marking the persistence of erosion over centuries. Small settlements and fields appear at intervals along the narrow strip of land, showing how people have long adapted to its demanding terrain. The geology of the cliffs reveals ancient uplift and erosion,
recording the slow forces that shape the region into steep walls and ridges. A narrow road winds along the river's course, allowing a gradual view of the cliffs that dominate the passage from above. At every turn, the formations alter, with sharp pillars and ridgelines standing as silent structures that frame the deep valley. Dade's Gorge endures as a powerful example of nature's gradual carving, balanced by the presence of human life that has found a way to persist.
Lake Hillier. On Middle Island off the southern coast of Western Australia, a small lake rests on a narrow strip of land between dense forest and the ocean. The lake is famous for its unusual pink hue, a phenomenon shaped by natural processes and the minerals found in its saline waters. Surrounded by sandy shores, the water forms a striking contrast against the green vegetation and the deep blue of the nearby sea. Scientists attribute the color to a combination of salt, algae, and microorganisms that interact under the sun's light. The lake sits in a naturally enclosed basin where evaporation and concentration of minerals maintain its distinct appearance. Paths and small inlets allow limited exploration, showing how the shoreline curves gently around the calm, colorful waters. Its location on the island makes access challenging, requiring boats or careful navigation through the coastal terrain. Geologically, the lake reflects ancient sand formations and coastal processes that shaped the island over thousands of years. Visitors can view the lake from above or along designated paths, experiencing the unusual landscape without disturbing the fragile ecosystem. Lake Hillier remains a remarkable meeting of natural chemistry and isolation, highlighting the unique features that remote landscapes can preserve. Danakil Depression. Located in the northeastern region of Ethiopia, the Danakil Depression lies below sea level, forming one of the hottest and most inhospitable areas on Earth.
The landscape is defined by salt flats, volcanic formations, and vast mineral deposits that stretch across the horizon in irregular patterns. Acidic hot springs and colorful mineral deposits give certain areas a striking appearance, with hues shifting from yellow to orange and green. Volcanic activity has created fissures and lava flows, shaping the terrain and maintaining the depression's rugged character over millennia. Salt extraction has long been practiced here, with deposits forming natural plateaus and ridges that highlight human adaptation to extreme conditions. The low elevation and high temperatures combine to produce harsh winds and a climate that few plants and animals can endure. Geologically, the depression marks a rift zone where tectonic forces pull the crust apart, creating faults, trenches, and scattered volcanic cones. Paths and narrow routes through the depression allow for observation of the colorful formations, offering a sense of scale and isolation. The region has a history of habitation by local communities who have adapted to its harsh environment while maintaining traditional practices. Danakil Depression stands as a remarkable example of Earth's extremes, revealing the powerful interaction of geology, climate, and human resilience. Yubeng. Nestled in a remote valley of the Meili Snow Mountain Range in Yunnan, China, Yubeng sits at the foot of towering peaks and glacial slopes. The village is accessible only by foot, connected by narrow trails that wind through alpine meadows and dense forests, emphasizing its isolation. Stone paths and wooden bridges guide visitors along streams and small waterfalls, showing the blend of natural features and human adaptation. Traditional Tibetan-style houses line the village, their simple architecture harmonizing with the surrounding landscape and mountain backdrop. Prayer flags flutter across rooftops, marking sacred spaces and reflecting the spiritual life of the local community. The nearby glaciers and rivers provide water that nourishes both people and crops, illustrating the delicate balance between nature and settlement. Hiking trails extend beyond the village, leading to sacred sites, hot springs, and high-altitude viewpoints for panoramic vistas. Visitors can experience the rhythm of daily life in Yubeng while taking in the grandeur of the mountains and the serenity of the valley. Yubeng remains a hidden gem where isolation, natural beauty, and Tibetan culture combine to create a unique experience for those who venture here. Eight Ben Hadou. Set along the old caravan routes of southern Morocco, Eight Ben Hadou rises as a fortified village built from earth and stone. The settlement is positioned at the edge of the high Atlas Mountains, where desert plains meet rugged slopes shaped by centuries of wind and water. Walls and towers of reddish clay stand tall against the landscape, blending naturally with the surrounding hills and riverbanks. Narrow passages wind through the Khazar, connecting courtyards, storage areas, and family dwellings, once used by traders and local communities. The site reflects traditional earthen architecture, constructed with natural materials that have endured through time despite harsh weather. From the upper towers, one can see across the river valley, where cultivated fields contrast with barren desert stretches. Historically, this fortified village served as a resting point for merchants carrying goods across North Africa. The strategic location provided safety and control over movement between mountains and desert routes. Eight Ben Hadou has also become known for its cultural significance, often appearing in art and film as a symbol of Morocco's heritage. Though many houses are no longer inhabited, the site preserves the character of a living fortress and a historic community. Its layered design, with outer walls, towers, and clustered homes, shows the balance of protection and daily life. Today, 8 Benhadou endures as both a striking monument of earthen architecture and a reminder of the region's role in connecting trade, culture, and history.
Cliffs of Moher. The massive cliffs
Stretch for miles along the ocean's edge, rising like an ancient wall of stone, dividing the solid land from the endless sea. Layered rock formations lie exposed in their full scale, revealing silent traces of time and the geological forces that shaped them over millions of years. Far below, waves crash endlessly against the base, sending white spray upward before fading into a mist that drifts softly across the open air. The horizon spreads unbroken before the eye, where ocean and sky merge seamlessly into one continuous band that seems to stretch beyond all limits. The cliffs stand connected in long succession, forming a grand natural barrier that feels both immense and enduring in its sheer simplicity. Here, the scenery seems untouched by time, holding its original character as though unchanged since the earliest days of the land itself. Their remarkable height and length combine into a panorama that feels at once majestic, commanding, and profoundly grounded in the fabric of the earth. The entire view evokes a sense of permanence, as if this natural frontier between ocean and continent has been fixed in place forever.